And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a quick walk around to just show you the ins and the outs of a typical work van at A+ Gutter and Window Cleaning. So to start out, right now we have 7 vans in the fleet, but we do have 3 more on the way. So every van has its own little intricacies, but for the most part, they're all very similar. First and foremost, what's important to note is when you pull up on a job site, when you have the van key, put it inside of the gas cap like this. There's nothing worse than being the driver and you're stuck way up on a roof or whatever, and the van's locked and none of the other crew members can get in to access whatever they require. So to make things simple, unless we're downtown or a potentially, sketchier neighborhood, we always keep the van key when we're on a work site in the gas cap. From there, everything's very similar to what you would ordinarily see in a work vehicle. We try and keep them as neat and tidy as possible. So everything's wiped down generally at least every week. And we have a garbage can here. We always have a first aid kit, as well as a slow and stop sign in case we have to direct traffic for one of our services. Other than that, we have an employee documents folder. So everything you could possibly require on a job for end of day sheets. We have business cards, 5-arounds, the door hangers, you name it, it can all be found inside of this folder. It's important to note, not only with the marketing materials, but with any sort of our equipment or materials that we use for our services, if we're running low, it's absolutely imperative that you make mention of it and that it gets replenished. What we found is if you're gonna run out of something, generally speaking, it's not you who's affected by that observation not being mentioned. It's going to be your teammate or the next guy who's gonna take the van out, and sure enough, he doesn't have something that's crucial in order to perform his duties. So it's very, very important across the board when we're doing our jobs. If you're noticing anything running out or running low or needing fixing, please, please, please make mention of it. From there, everything else is relatively straightforward. We do have a fuel card in each of the vans, which can be found in the glove compartment. And then we also have a set of keys, which we always diligently replace to the rear view mirror. And this will release the ladders off of the roof rack, as well as the universal bike lock that we have in case we're to leave a ladder on a work site can be released with this key. So again, very important, it's a minor detail, but if this key goes missing, you're not gonna have a very productive day. That's absolutely for sure. From there, I'm gonna open up the cargo area. Again, most of our work vehicles should be very similar in the way they're configured. Now, how we work it is we actually allocate or delegate a work vehicle to a crew leader, and they're free to keep it in the order that they see most productive and stock it the way that they would best use it. But it's important to try and adhere to the standard so that it's not brand new for somebody coming in to work out of that work vehicle. First things first, we have our bucket of solution water. If it's not completely dirty, we'll actually reuse it on the next job. So that's always right next to the slider door on the driver's side. We have our clean laundry, and generally speaking throughout the day, if you're going to go through a lot of laundry, we just keep it off to the side. From here, we have a few hooks that have our various gear belts ready to go as soon as we pull up. And we also have our full protection harnesses hooked up to the same hooks. Coming around the back, we have 2 sets of standoff bars, which I will show you how to use later on. We have gutter buckets as well as scoops. We have our step ladder here kind of at an angle. And then we also have 1 or 2 hoses that we use for flushing out the gutters or for working the water fed pole system. Coming around this side, we have what we call a roofer's kit. So essentially, if we're going on a roof, everything you need will be found in this kit, provided that it's well stocked. So you'll have your fall protection cleat, a hammer, the caulking and the caulking gun, and some nails. Here we have a couple pylons. If we're ever doing work downtown to do with traffic, it's always a good idea to set out a couple pylons. Even if you're working on a road, it's never a bad idea to set out a couple pylons. And then we have a rope bag, and there should be at least 2 rope bags in the van, and essentially that way you're able to go up on a roof, you have your rope and your runner, and it's a nice cohesive package, and it's easy to transport up and down. The only other thing I'll show you is we do have a little tool chest here with a list of what the content should be on the top. Again, if you're missing something that should be in there and you go to do a job that you required it, it's not going to be a very effective job. So it's very important, if you're running out of something, make note of it. When you go back that evening, certainly make an effort to replenish it. In the bottom drawer, there's actually a full extra set of window cleaning gear. In the event that something happens with your personal equipment, you can easily replace it and still be productive for the day with that set. So that's a basic walk around of our van, albeit it's quite straightforward, and I know there's a lot going on, but it is sort of a situation where it's organized chaos. Like anything with our business, essentially, if you follow the system, it will handle and treat you very well, and you'll be able to operate at a high level. This includes filling out the end of the day sheet, which essentially gets the van back up to full working order, as well as things like the equipment list that's found on the toolbox.